one. Is it that one? Yes, there we go. Now you can hear me. Sorry for that. Thank you for alerting me in the Discord, Rocky. Let me just get back to my bearings, and then we should all be fine to... Just going to try once more for Danis, and we shall see. Yeah, Afsik there. That is the fastest time in the session. I do believe the stream is still working as intended. Let's see. Is it a black screen? Is it a black screen? No, it is not. Brilliant. Huh. Again, one of the lulls. Hayden, the only driver currently on a lap. Rocky's on an out lap, but he's at the other side of the circuit here, so... Just trying to sort out one of the driver's issues. We shall see where this puts him. I think he made a slight mistake there, around deep, but yeah, not exactly the best of laps. Hayden now will be the next man to settle up here. Rocky, sorry. Hayden just settled up. Rocky will be the next one to settle up. Get my little words twisted. It's been a long while since I've commentated F1 at all. Both Mercedes coming out. This is the one coming out the pit lane. I do urge to try and keep out the way of the drifting Rocky. Through turn one he goes. What a moment. Denny joins the field there. The McLaren, I believe, will only get the one push lap here if he's fast enough to it. Might just be able to get two as Rocky goes very deep there. Coming through the corner where we saw Bartek have that little incident that put him out of the session. From what we understand, his wheel had a bug that jolted him into the wall, and we've got a yellow in the third sector. I think that was an issue relating to Hayden, the man in P5, but Rocky through the middle sector, he's 5/10 up. It's, I think, purple of everyone there through the middle sector for the Williams driver. Henrique, the most recent driver to start his lap, the Red Bull driver there in P6. Rocky could be on for a front row start here if this lap can count. He's got Mercedes behind him that should be starting a lap here. Mido has started a lap and is midway through his hot lap here. But Rocky on his lap went purple in the middle sector. Best for him and probably best for everyone else across the line. Doesn't move place. He's just down. Let's see where Mido can go. His teammate's going to cross the line. Afsik will be the next man to cross the line. Bartek trapped in the garage after sustaining that damage. We'll see where he's able to get it back up to. You may remember Bartek is one for a brilliant race start. If you remember all the way back to Japan and ALR, jumped from 5th, was it, to 3rd in one corner. Brilliant move across the line. Mido takes that fastest time and cuts it by a long shot. And I believe Hen has spun. Yes, he has. Henrique's thrown his hot lap. Big shame there. He's got gravel all over his tyres. I can only imagine what he's done there. I think he's hit the inside curb there and absolutely lost the rear. Denny, the most recent driver to come out of the garage due to connection problems. We'll see where he's able to go. I believe Hayden's also on a push lap in the back of the shot. We'll see what this lap is going to be able to help him with. Oh, and Rocky's had a crash. Unfortunately, we can't see. We'll see what has happened here. Oh, he's come off the curb, done a Behrman. Big shame for him there. I'm sure he'll give us a clip maybe later on or a word in the Discord or my DMs about what has happened there. Huge problems for two of the drivers on the field. Hopefully, Rocky has solidified that P4 and will be starting there. Because if it is Q2, Q3, you would lose that place if it is for a crash like that. So we'll be waiting to see what has happened. So Denny gets slightly wide there. Yeah, San Mido, the fastest man on track, retiring in the pit lane. He's done. He's not wasting any time here. We'll see where Denny can go now. Across the start-finish line for his first-time lap, it will be a 1:20, just ahead of Henrique, who comes out the pit lane in front of them. It will be Hayden, who has CC'd, will be finishing his lap here in a moment as he comes into the pit lane. I believe Hayden is done for the day. That then leaves Afsik, and Hen crashes out. Hayden's retired in the pit lane. I think Henrique spun on his outlap and realised what happened there. So it's going to be Denny, Sways, and Afsik, the final people to complete their qualifying laps here. Clarts the barrier slightly on the rear there from Sways. Doesn't go fastest, but does improve closer to his teammate's time. Can Afsik improve to the fastest time? No. So this will be his hot lap here for Afsik, 7 seconds off. Rocky hit the curb at turn 10 and spun. The official confirmation as to what happened there. So a few big crashes already from what I think happened to Henrique. He just lost the rear and decided to retire because he wouldn't have enough time to get around again. 5 thousandths up for Sways there in the first sector. It's going to be tight in qualifying. Denny is going to finish his lap, stays P6. So he's done there. What's it looking like for Afsik? He's a 10th down. Sways is a 10th up. In the middle sector goes Purple. He could be on for a pole start here. Unsure as to where Afsik is, but we'll see these two across the line. I have a feeling it's going to be the top 3 charging out the front of the field. Oh, and he goes deep. Sways clips the gravel. That will slightly skew his lap there. Maybe gives him enough just to slow down for this final corner. We'll see how much that has cost him over the start-finish line. It's going to be just off. Loses a second. Afsik, a 10th up across the line. It's going to be P3. Your pole sitter is Mido for the first race in the season. Hen spun in front of Denny at turn 3. So that is your top split for qualifying. Apparently he had 2 moments on his lap, but it is a Mercedes 1-2 if you've been watching the sport in real life, which I assume you have, given the only reason you've joined in. You'll be seeing this in person. Let's see what happened there. There's all the incidents. Bartek, of course, being the first one with terminal damage. We now skip ahead to the race, which is happening shortly, so don't go. Not really much I can say in this break, to be honest. Uncharted ground, of course, you know. We just wait for the drivers to sort themselves out. Can understand there that some of the drivers are trying to get assists on. One of the drivers is too late to join, which is a bit of a shame for them. But that sound normally means we get ready. As the 5 lights enable themselves for the first time this season, the Mercedes front row launch from the line. It's a tentative start, and that's Rocky dropping back in the middle of the pack. He's dropped down 1 or 2 places. Oh, and the V-carb's off. And there's a big incident there in turn 1. Bartek's involved. Hayden also involved. The group splitting. I believe Rocky being passed by Henrique there means the mid-pack is now split. That's going to be Denny on the inside of Bartek, forcing his way around. There is contact between Rocky. He's lost part of his front ring. We ride on board with the Williams driver with some slight damage. We go to a different angle now where we see Bartek just ahead of Denny. Bartek goes deep and Denny gets through. So an initially eventful opening lap. Assetto up to P2. We see him chasing down Sways. The pole sitters dropped to third after the opening squabble. And I believe there's going to be an overtake at the back here from Hayden on Bartek. Bartek shuts the door on him twice. Doesn't get through. Back to the front end of the field here. Sways versus Assetto. Those two the closest battle. As I say that, Bartek goes round the outside and loses it on Denny. Taps him on the rear, and he's going to have to try that move yet again. I believe we've got Rocky. Oh, and Rocky takes a hard hit, and that should be a safety car on the opening lap. We tuned to that a bit too late there. All I know is that there's more argy-bargy afterwards as Denny tries to get through after the safety car. Might be a virtual safety car, not too sure. I can only imagine what's going on as there's more contact going on there. 10-second penalty for Denny for causing a collision. I believe it is a virtual safety car. The top three have split themselves off from the initial pack. Unsure as to why they're racing, and Bartek spins and gets a penalty for a severe collision for his worries and woes. Hayden goes deep, not sure as to why. May have been an illegal overtake as Bartek got back underway. The top pack staying at the same pace. I believe it is a VSC, so that incident very, very bizarre there from Bartek. Not quite sure the reasoning of that. Unfortunate start for the Williams team. Rocky becoming the first driver to DNF. We will be awarding penalty points, and if you do accumulate 12 over the 12 race season, you will be given a race ban, as Hayden, I think, is going to have to pit to fix his damage. And penalties for Hayden and I believe Bartek for speeding on the VSC. Hen goes deep and is overtaken by Denny. They are constantly bashing each other. Hen has lost half his front wing. That's not going to be good. These guys will have to keep it calm if they want to finish the race. Bartek get involved and they touch. Hen choosing the safer option of getting that early pit stop with damage. Any penalties for speeding in the pit lane? Oh, and he looks up and gets the penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We won't be giving a penalty for that, but afterwards I will be having a look. The top three really in a fight of their own, as there's a bit of a mistake there from Middo. But Bartek and Denny are the two cars closest on track, and they collide again. Bartek half loses the rear. Hayden should be coming out now without a penalty, I hope. He may still have a drive-through, but that is because he had to pit to change his front wing. Henrique comes out the pit lane, does have that pit lane penalty that he can come in to serve, I do believe. But Hayden comes out there, fresh front wing. I believe he will have a drive-through, but I'm not too sure. Here we watch the top three most removed from the rest of the pack. Bartek versus Denny here. Oh, and they touch hard. Bartek loses an end plate. He'll still be able to continue with that damage, but doesn't look to be too good for the Red Bull Junior teams. Bartek launches it on the inside, manages to get it stopped. We ride on board with the helicopter here to try and see what on earth could be going on. Sways sets the fastest lap of the race so far. 29 laps yet to go, and they're fighting like it's the last. Middo here chasing down Assetto with the DRS. Said that phrase, not about the same person he's chasing down before, but that is happening. Bartek goes slightly deep in their battle here. I am keeping an eye on two different battles at once. This battle, I think, is heating up more due to the frustration of the drivers behind. Bartek's missing half his front wing there and runs deep just to make his woes worse. And there's a slowed car on the main straight of Henrique. I believe he's had a problem somewhere in this race. Middo with the DRS. Is he going to try a launch and overtake into the corner? I believe he's going to try. Just isn't able to. If I can get my words out, that would be very nice. Hayden, I believe, serving his penalty there. So a safety car really is needed for him to try and get back in the element of the race. And that could very well happen with the current battles on track as Bartek goes deep through the corner, deep on exit as well. That will not help his race at all at the moment. We'll see what can come of some of these battles. Mido with the DRS advantage here. He's going to have it into turn 1, I feel. He's probably going to try and wait till turn 3. That's the more optimized overtaking move. And he's got a much better exit than Afsik. He's got the DRS. He's got the outside line. Is he going around the outside? Yes, he is. Driver on the hards, just beating out the driver on the mediums, or is he? Afsik holding the line. They brush wheels, and Afsik keeps the position. My, oh my, that was a very nice overtake. Bartek has darted into the pit lane there. I believe that is for a penalty to be served, as well as damage, as Hayden gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Mido tries again. Around the outside, gets the overtake done. What a nice move we saw there. These two lap-long battle. Several moves between the two of them. That should be Bartek clear of at least one of his many penalties now. So it's now a Mercedes 1-2 in the inverse position of what they started the race in. And I do hope this manner continues the way it is, because this is some brilliant, brilliant racing out front. Unfortunately, the rest of the field is now quite removed from each other. If there is any form of incident, that will, I believe, encourage a safety car, depending on how severe it is. I'm just waiting on some other news there from one of the retired drivers of Rocky there, unfortunately. Getting taken out on lap 1 incident. I'm waiting to see that image. Maybe we could get that on the stream later on when we hit the lull. Lap 6 now, as we see Afsik going slightly over the curbs. And now the race has calmed down. Bartek as well, multiple penalties. Corners are on lenient, so these guys are racking up penalties like nobody's business here. It really is an amaze to me how many penalties these guys are just racking up here. Mido just flying out there as Sways now gets a penalty for multiple warnings. So could it be drivers are cutting the track a little more than they anticipated they could do? And there's a yellow in the first sector for Henrique, who's gone around and damaged that front wing. That will only mean Bartek gets closer and closer to the car ahead of him, being this Red Bull of Henrique. And he hits the wall again, a loud crunch there, very audibly loud. That caught me away just as it happened, so. Very audibly loud crunch, and I believe Hayden could be under risk of a safety, of getting lapped if there isn't a safety car shortly. We're going to watch the race leader as Sways does have that penalty looming over him, and he can't get rid of it in a pit stop. Hopefully he'll be able to pull out a gap and finish where he desires in first place. He has said before this, same with Afsik, that he was hoping his team, with both drivers being here, they should be able to get some really good results. So far, the issues with Bartek at the start of the race for him have not led to the most optimum of starts for the Ferrari team. However, we'll see where that gets them. Henrique has dropped back a ton here compared to Bartek's lap times. So maybe Bartek could be lining up a move here. They were about 5 seconds drift. Now they're a 1.5 seconds, if that. So Henrique taking it more lenient than anything there. We'll see what this could possibly do. Yeah, this gap is really dropping. I don't know what the issue is with Henrique here, but Bartek is just flying towards him here. This could get dicey between these two, and it could cause something that Hayden would absolutely dream of. Maybe even Denny as well, because he could come out of this with a free pit stop. But at the moment, these two, Bartek going very deep, these two just chasing each other down. Hayden getting lapped there, as you can just see by the minimap. We're going to stay with this battle that is forming. I think Sways has just gone off. Yes, he has. Sways, the race leader, has made a big mistake there as he tries to pass Hayden. The yellow flags are for the slow car of Hayden. Please don't hold him up. There you go, Hayden. You can go. Now the two Mercedes are released into fighting each other as Bartek gets ahead of Henrique. Henrique locks up massively and goes into the gravel. Denny in the pit lane. I believe he's been sent out. But the two Mercedes are swapping positions. That gets very close. on the exit of the corner. That was the tightest squeeze you could possibly get out of that without causing a giant problem. My oh my. That, I think, so far is the overtake of the season. I know it's only race 1, but it's the only one so far. Bartek is fighting here with Denny. These two, Bartek, I believe, has the tyre advantage of them being warm. Denny pitting. Oh, and Denny goes deep. Touched Bartek there. No fault of their own. This is a proper battle going on right now. Henna's pitted, and so has Sways. So maybe Sways is going to go to the end on the hard tyres there. That could be a very good strategy call from him. We'll see what he's pitting onto there. Yeah, the hards. It could be a one-stop for him to try and make it to the end. 21 laps to go on the hard tyres. He'd need to pray for a safety car for that to come to a good fruition. The top split a minute ahead of the rest of the field. So maybe after Mido pits and Afsik pits, as there's a yellow flag and Hayden's out. Hayden runs deep into the wall and we have a safety car. I'm sure Hayden will be in my DMs telling me what exactly has happened there. But the safety cars come out on lap 8. Lap 9 for the leaders, lap 8 for the rest. Wow. End plate died, oversteered into the barriers from Hayden. That's the reason for the DNF. It wasn't involved with Henrique, which is absolutely monumental for this race. The top two are coming in for a free pit stop. Sway's taking it. I can see why he took it at that opportunity. You know, he was given a chance. He took it. It may pay out for him, actually. May not pay out for him, we don't know, but he is at least going to be on the back of the pack. The one advantage he has is his tyres have half a race lap on them, meaning when he goes racing, he'll have half a lap advantage on him. I sure do hope Henrique doesn't get lapped here fully. I think he has. I think he's going to be stuck in the glitch. If he can pass, he should be able to, but if he's been told to hold position, that is the end of his race there, unfortunately. If he's told to pass Sways, then he might be able to get unlapped, which I think is what Sways has done. So if he is able to unlap, which he is, good job, Sways. Thank you for not letting Hen get lapped. There's been some argy-bargy here between Bartek and Denny there, so not quite sure what's gone on between those two at the front end of the field, but sort it out, please, before the safety car ends, I do beg you. Henrique would be investigated after the session for a possible penalty as well. So but yeah, for now, all dead. Hayden being called a twat by Sways in general there. I'm not quite sure the reasoning as to why that is the case. I'm sure if I am enlightened, then yeah. In fact, while the safety car is going on, I'm going to try and show what happened at the race start there. It was Rocky getting into Hayden that caused him to go off of the track there, so we'll see what goes on. We'll see what goes on in the latter half of this race. To start with, it's been pretty entertaining. 10 laps completed of the 29. So 11 laps now completed of the 29. 2 of these under the safety car. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see where this gets them. I have a feeling this will be a longer safety car due to the gaps left in the field, so We'll see how long it takes them. This safety car could just be what we needed for this race, just to maybe, I hope, go into more of a normal way of going about things. It should be ending once we're all together, and luckily we do have quite a long time. I mean, I'm just struggling on what to say here, to be honest. You know, quiet part in the race. At the moment in time, Mercedes would lead the championship from Ferrari. That would be your top two. McLaren are set to have one of the faster drivers in the league debut at some point in the coming weeks, I would hope. But we'll see. We'll see. Unsure as to how Henrique, I believe, is trying to go round as fast as he can. I believe safety car will be in next lap, and Denny's in the pit lane there. That could be a good strategy. He is being held for an awful long time, so I think he's serving a penalty under the safety car, if he can even do that. Yes, he is. So, serving a penalty, changing the front wing as well. That is a good strategy call from the McLaren team there. He's going to come out not ahead of Henrique, but he will have that fresh tyre advantage. My, oh my. He's going to come out, yeah, behind. Henrique is probably going to be facing a penalty for that lap 1 incident with Rocky. Going off how that looks, I will be asking non-drivers in the league and drivers who haven't done round 1 about their opinions on this. But yeah, race control says safety car in this lap. The green flags will be waved. And as the safety car retreats to the pit lane. We hope there's not going to be a big crash, and there almost is, as the field is held by Sways there. That could have been. And there is damage on Denny, so that will be looked at from Mido there. Sorry, Sways, didn't mean to throw shade at you there, but that was a bit dodgy from the race leader, if I do say so myself. That will definitely be looked at after the race. Bartek here. The closest to Bartek versus Hen. Hen probably facing a penalty post-race for some shenanigans, and Denny is out. And there's another safety car. So Denny has gone off by himself and has caused a problem there. Unable to get the footage of the crash. But, unsure what has happened there. He spun off a curb and slammed into the wall. Big shame for him. Another safety car in this race. At this point, we might just have the top 5 left by the end of it. Anyway, right. Now with that, Bartek and Henrique are taking a free pit stop, which I don't blame them for. We'll see that. Bartek going through on it. Bartek getting a much better pit stop and a much better exit time. Very slow pit stop there from Hen. This should be a very short safety car as well. It should end next lap. Yeah. Hoping that more incidents like this don't happen is what I'm really hoping for, but I can't control the uncontrollable. Someone who has actually had a pretty quiet race after the start here is actually Bartek. I have to praise him for that. You know, he was a bit tentative and a bit nervous on the start of the race there, but we'll see what happens with this. You know, to me, this is set to be Bartek's magnum opus of racing here. Not sure why Afsik is trying to overtake under the safety car there. Oh, Midow's deep, Midow's off, Midow. Big mistake. What on earth has happened to Midow? What in my goodness gracious has happened there to the server? Why is the lobby's changed setting mid-race? I've never seen that bug before in my life. Well, I guess that penalty has just served itself for Midow. If he was going to get a penalty for that brake check, I do believe that has just served itself. So, hopefully, hopefully, that won't happen again. That is, I think, the most bizarre glitch I've ever seen in my life. But we'll see where this goes. The safety car's in. The pack's going to go. Afsik leads the way. Hen gets very squirrely out of the final corner. Bartek's on the podium places. Across the line they go to start the first lap of racing after the safety car. Was that a possible move from Midow there? Bartek goes very deep. Hen gets blocked out of it. Bartek loses 2 places, bangs wheels there heavily with Midow. Sways looking for a possible move. Midow to the inside. Bartek hits the back of Hen. They almost go into each other again. Hen stays alive just deep out of the corner. Is he going to get cut off? Bartek has to take to the grass because he's at risk of getting cut off there. And this is a brilliant battle to start the restart with. Sways is pushing against Afsik here, but it's nothing at the moment. Bartek gets ahead of Hen there. Let's see what they're able to do. Going towards the end of this straight, it's going to be a mega slipstream here from Hen. Could he possibly try a move? There's no DRS. No, he can't. Bartek just gets on the grass and he goes deep in the gravel. Rejoins just ahead of Hen. Hen is going to touch. They get through. They touch heavily. Enough of that, you two, please. They're side by side at the front. Lewis, Mr. Sways goes by Lewis online. Is he going to try around the outside in the final corner? He's going to try the inside for the final corner. Gets the position and takes the lead on the end of the lap. Hen versus Bartek is still going. They're squabbling for positions like children fighting over a piece of candy. Absolutely mental at the front of the field. Midow is caught right up to the pack. We could see a very dicey battle starting at the front here between those three. Afsik, the car number 61, he's in for a bid to try and elevate Ferrari to the front of the field. And I need to take a second just to take a breath, because my oh my, that was a jam-packed initial lap of racing after the safety car. As Assetto gets a penalty for multiple warnings. If everyone gets a penalty for multiple warnings, that would even the field out beautifully. It's going to be DRS for Assetto. I'm going to take a step back here, take a little calm breather. Around the outside goes Assetto. My oh my, what an overtake that was. Holy! Is that Mido trying it again as 2? I don't think so. Those 3 nose to tail. It's going to get sliced and diced up all here. I believe they're all within DRS of each other. If one makes a mistake, it could spell absolute disaster, as we're now on lap 18. Those safety car laps flying by, literally. We get the straight down from turn 1. Let's see what we're able to muster after this race. Hen has fallen right off the back of Bartek there, so Bartek has appeared to solidify P4 for now. Of course, unless something bad happens. But the top 3 separated by less than a second. And this is going to get closer and closer and closer. And I sure do hope it doesn't end in disaster, because if it ends in disaster, then that would be an utter shame for the field. It's not yellow flag in Sector 1. The game has had a bug. The same bug in F123, remember all the way back then. But yeah, let's see what these guys are able to do. The closing speeds are getting smaller. Half a second almost splits them perfectly. Lap 19, 11 to go. When they cross the line, it'll be 10 to go. 10 laps of racing will decide who's going to get the win. It's a much tighter line from Mido. He's going to try the inside. Backs out at the last second. Assetto forced to defend there. Well, that's Sway, sorry, trying the move. Both Mercedes being there is slightly faltering my memory there, but Swayze is pushing him down the straight. He's got the inside line. He's going to touch wheels with the Ferrari and get through. And where is Mido in all of this? He's going to dive down the inside of turn 3. It's a late lunge. He's on the mediums. And maybe, just maybe, he may have called the strategy wrong. But so far it's a Mercedes 1-3 and a Ferrari 2-4. Bit of a mouthful. Red Bull are set to score a decent amount of points in this race. With that P5 finish. And of course all these points from the early comers will generate easy later points in the championship. For them. Oh, and Assetto goes deep. Assetto runs wide out of the corner. Mido has got an easy overtake to get through on him there with the DRS. He's got the position. Now it's a Mercedes 1-2. Mido, I think, knows what's best for the team. He's going to have to try and defend for the next 9 laps of racing. If something goes wrong, it could be a disaster. But this battle, I think, has only just started. If the drivers talk, they will be brought up for interviews at the end of the race. If not, then we'll just have to cut it short and interview who we can. As Assetto gets another warning for track limits. So he's going to have to hope that he can try and get ahead and pull a gap. Right now, I think he would be stuck there in P3. If Mido can stay where he is and stay with his teammate and defend enough, he might actually be able to get the win out of this one. Henrique in the pit lane again. Flying through they go. Beautiful camera angles they've put in this game, I do have to say that. But, yeah. It's all died down a bit. It's all getting a bit so I can just catch my breath. Let's see where this race can unfold to. For now, not much is going on. Welcome the almighty Denby in the chat there. Sorry if that message is a bit late, but welcome. Bartek choosing the pit lane here as well. Maybe these guys could make softs to the end if they choose to do a pit stop. That could be the strategy Midow's going for. Take a pit stop, softs till the very end. Oh! Mido spins! Mido loses it out of the corner! He did what Sebastian Vettel did in practice a few seasons ago in real life. Mido into the wall and breaks his wing. And Afsik goes to P2. Oh my goodness me, complete drama going on there. He's running in the gravel. Bartek, I think, has spun at turn 1 as well. He's missing half his wing, is Mido. Oh my goodness. Absolute drama unfolding at this point in the race. I thought Mercedes had the 1-2 in the bag there with the penalties, but... my, oh my. Mega drama unfolding there. If I were him, I'd pit, try and salvage what I can from this, which he does. If I were him, I'd try salvage that fastest lap because we do award a fastest lap point here. Oh, just gets it stopped in time. That was... wow. It's mediums. It isn't softs till the end. It's mediums to the end. Complete drama going on there. And Bartek and Henrique are closing in on each other here. Mido will have to be mindful of this battle. Comes out, he does get ahead. We'll see. The closest battle on track currently is Bartek versus Henrique. So... Bartek running slightly deep. I think Bartek is going to try and hunt down a P4 finish here. If he's able to. We'll see what the penalties are able to be given out after the races. If there is any more afterwards. That has absolutely trembled me. Oh, Bartek round the outside. What an overtake from Bartek. That has caught me completely off guard. Oh my goodness me. And Hen's trying it back. Bartek, give him some space, please. Calm down, you two. Is Bartek staying ahead? Yes, he is. What an overtake from Bartek. That has me lost for words. That is a mental overtake that Bartek has just performed. My oh my. Henrique now has the DRS. He's going to be closing in on Bartek here. Maybe we'll be able to see what happens. But we'll see. Definitely within DRS. That's currently the closest battle on track is these two. So Henrique is gaining on Bartek. So this battle's here to stay for a while. Could we see Henrique trying to mirror the overtake that Bartek did? Stupendous move Bartek had. That's going to be, I think, Bartek's overtake ever. Henrique goes deep, gets the line slightly skew-if. He's going to have DRS again. Could he try form a late move on the inside? I don't think so. But he is getting closer to Bartek. Much closer to Bartek. As the laps tick down, 5 to go as they cross the line. 4 to go as they cross the line, I believe. Yeah, 4 to go as they cross the line. Bartek just, I think, is out of DRS from Henrique. If he is, then it is safe. He isn't, so he isn't safe from that attack just yet. He'll have to wait a few more corners to hopefully be clear of him as we see the lovely changing in the environment that we've done with the tyres running on the grass and stuff, which is a huge shame. But Assetto trailing Sways by around 5 seconds. That gap has stayed roughly the same, unless the top two pit. I see this race ending in this order, unless Henrique can do something here. Assetto's quite slow at the final corner, by the look of it, yeah. I think Assetto got a ton of oversteer out the corner. That's prevented him from, you know, getting up there and trailing more. But we see not much going on at the moment. Bartek's out of DRS. The race leaders are too far apart to do much. And, well, for now, it's all quiet on the Aussie front straight. So, oh, Mido's in the pit lane again. There is more wing damage to that Mercedes car. He's onto the softs till the end, so Bartek's got past him and Henrique's got past him. It's going to be imperative now that Mido can overtake. It's because at this point in time, Bartek would claim his maiden podium in his career. Bartek has never scored a podium in his racing career at all. We now wait. The leaders have lap 27 now. So 3 to go for the leaders. We'll see. Will Mido be able to fumble Crown ahead of Bartek here? He's had his moments. He's had that weird glitch that demoted him from the lead of the safety car pack after brake checking the field beforehand. I'm sure that will be penalty just enough for him there to the back of the queue for blocking the pack. He is flying on those soft tyres. That gap has clawed its way down immediately already. Henrique is stopped the corner ahead. I think he had a spin there. But his first challenge is going to be trying to get cleanly ahead of Henrique. So, who knows, penalties could come into play with this. In fact, we will use the settings to see what penalties. No, can't see. There you go, 9 seconds of penalties for Bartek. 3 for Henrique. So for now, no matter what, I don't believe that Bartek will be able to finish on the podium unless something major happens to one of the front runners here. But judging by the pace from each other, I don't think they will. But Bartek running in the podium places by merit. We'll see what happens. I will ask after the race what we do about those sorts of penalties, whether you want to remove them or not. But that will be a question I ask only the people that got them. In fact, I'll do a vote. That'll be easier. Anyway, we're going to see it here. Around the outside goes Mido. Easy work on the Red Bull there of Henrique. And he's going to get DRS a second helping just to fly ahead. And that was Henrique in the wall. That was a very loud bang. I heard that at the last moment. Not sure what happened there. It's a DNF off screen for him. That was a very, very loud crash indeed. That just leaves the top 4 to see what they can do. Yeah, right now I believe both teams at the top will be scoring the same amount of points unless someone gets the fastest lap. We'll see where everything comes to fruition. Bartek being chased down. Hunted down even by the Mercedes behind him. Last lap is what the leaders are on. He's chasing him down. Bartek goes deep, loses the position. Really unfortunate way for Bartek to slip that podium place, but he will get the DRS. We'll see. Will Bartek be able to catch up enough for this to affect the podium places? I don't think it will. All I know is Sways, who's been dominating in Roblox for quite a while, he's going to come out the penultimate corner for the final time. He's going to round the final corner for the final time. Mercedes, victorious over the pond. He's going to take the debut win in the championship. And we're going to see Assetto crossing the line in P2. We're going to see, will it be Bartek or will it be Mido in the third place position? Of course, we'll discuss who actually gets the podium afterwards. Bartek's going to try again, round the outside. Will he get the picking order? Oh, Mido goes deep. Bartek, I think it's 13 seconds. Mido has 3. Bartek is around 12 seconds of penalties, so no matter what in this position, Mido would be on the podium unless he crashes. And if he crashes, that could spell disaster for him. But Bartek's going to cross the line. I think it'd be a career-matching P4 for him. At the moment, he forces his way through. Mido taps Bartek through. Bartek goes side by side. They're both at the wall and Bartek spins and loses his wing. Awful way for the race to end for the both of them. Bartek's going to get himself turned round, and Mido is just, I think he's going to let Bartek have the position over the line there as an apology there, but Mido will cross the line to finish third because of race penalties. And as the voting shows at the moment, those penalties will be staying, which is unfortunate for the drivers, but Mercedes have taken the lead in the championship. What a shame out of the final corner. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but that is certainly one way for a race to end if I've ever seen one. Bartek unfortunately just loses out on the podium there, but with that result, F6 congratulating everyone else. Bartek's going to claim a career equaling P4 across his career so far. That is his magnum opus, I feel. That's a much more cleaner race as well from him than the last time he raced. But as you can see, Sways takes the lead of the championship. Mercedes are 1-2. And the British driver beats the pole. And do bear with me. What? Mido, where are you from? I've actually forgotten. My fault completely, but... But yeah, Sways beats out the pole. If I can remember nationalities properly, I'll be able to tell you where Mido is from. But for now, that has temporarily surpassed my mind, unfortunately. But with that, we've been live for about an hour. That was the entire Australian Grand Prix for Super Formula Racing League. The Tunisian driver gets beaten out by the Polish driver, who gets beaten out by the Brit. We'll see you in 2 weeks, because I'm taken next weekend on the 8th. If that is, yeah, I'm taken on the 8th, so we won't be racing next weekend. We won't be doing interviews. We'll have a 2-week break, and hopefully we'll be able to have more drivers for next weekend, next time we race. Thank you all, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. The Blocky race is happening this weekend in Italy, and of course I have to plug it because it's always